Hello and welcome to a brand new series called How It Happened. I wish I could bring you this series on a better day, but we've got a lot to go through, and this is going to be more of a deep dive into each goal. Some weeks it will be talking about Manchester United goals, but unfortunately we don't have the luxury of being able to talk about them after this match. So yeah, I think this is a little bit different from the 5 things we learned because it's going to be deeper into sort of the build up to the goal and who made the mistakes that led to the goals. So, you know, if this series does get some positivity, if people enjoy it, then I'll continue it. So do let me know in the comments. So this is the first goal. This is Huijsen with the header. You can see on the 29th minute mark, I think up until this point it was relatively even, to be fair. I think there was neither team creating that much. But we have Xerxes here. The ball is in a wide area, that is like a penalty. Against Manchester United, if you got the ball from a set piece in a wide area, whether it would be a corner or free kick, we are in big trouble. So yeah, we have the set piece. You can see zonal marking. Now, not a fan of zonal marking at all, because for one, I think players can get confused as to whose ball it is. And 2, I think it stops any accountability, right? Okay, this was obvious whose fault it was, right? Because it went in there, and you know, there's only one player that's near Huijsen, and that's Xerxes, right? But if the ball comes in here and there's a header and it goes in, then you can be like, well, the players can argue, well, that's not really my zone. I think it was more in your zone. Like, it stops any accountability. But if you're man marking and your man scores, then it's your fault. It's quite clear. It's quite obvious. So you've got that accountability. I do understand it's not always possible to man mark. There are occasions like against Arsenal where they're all say that the ball's say the ball's coming from a corner on the opposite side. So it's coming from not this side, the opposite side. Then they were all grouping around here, yeah? Very difficult to man mark because they're all grouped together. Very difficult to follow your runners. So I'd understand how it's a lot easier to zonal mark then. We didn't do that well against Arsenal. We were horrific, but I can understand in principle why that is better. But here, I just hate zonal marking in general. But it's still, I can't really blame zonal marking for this goal in particular, but I'm just venting about my dislike for zonal marking in general. But you can see here, Xerxes actually pretty tight, close to him. This is a good position. He's goal side. Obviously, the ball's just about to come in, and you can see that's brilliant. He's jostling with him as the ball's coming in already. He's going to find it very difficult to get a header away with that kind of pressure. Xerxes is a big lad. He looks like he's putting his body up against him. You know, out of all the players in this team, with Xerxes' height and strength, you think, okay, I think we're in good shape here. This guy's not gonna win the ball. And then you see the distance between Xerxes and Huijsen when the ball actually reaches him. How did we get from this position here to here? How did this gap develop? You've got to follow him, man. You've got to follow him because there's nobody else around you. You've got to anticipate the flight of the ball and go with him. That is criminal. And like I say, you have to rely. We've got a small team. I think a 5'11", right, was the average height of the team, which is small for a Premier League big physical side. So you've got to rely on your taller players to win that ball, Maguire and Xerxes. And it's criminal to leave that gap. From here, jostling as the ball's coming in, to here, have a massive gap as he gets the header away. So that's the first goal. On the bingo, we get a full house every time. Check for a set piece. You can mark that one off because we concede a set piece almost every single game, it seems like. So this one, okay, I'm not going to lay into Mazraoui. Obviously, terrible decision to dive in. He's just received it from the overlap. He's going. Obviously, he's going to go here and then he's going to pull it back, isn't he? What I want to look at is here. Like, he has a good chance of scoring here. Like, what is Garnacho doing? I mean, I'd rather look at the bigger picture rather than focus on Mazraoui because it's just a rash decision. He's normally very consistent. We're over-reliant on him. He's made a poor decision there. But even so, this guy, if he clips it back stick, he's in anyway. Like, I would rather look at the bigger picture and see that we're not in good shape regardless of that. Everywhere else, that is really good defending, I think, really tight from Martinez. Delot, I think, is in an okay position there. If the ball comes in, I think Delot can step in here and win that ball. I'm okay with the space between the two players here. So yeah, I mean it's only here. Garnacho's just come on the pitch, by the way, so he shouldn't be tired. He shouldn't find himself. He's at full sprint here. You can see by his body tilt. He's at absolutely full sprint to try and get back. But to leave a man on the back stick there is criminal in itself. And he could well have scored had Mazraoui not brought him down. I'm going to skip over that. That's just the contact. Again, silly decision. Now this one is the most to talk about. This Semenyo goal and multiple players at fault. First off, Kobe Mainu here. So the ball's sort of broken down. Bournemouth had it. He's come in here and he's got the ball under control. He can either pass sort of to Delot here, or he can the safer option because there's no players around him is to Martinez here. That's a safe option to recycle, and then Martinez obviously can look forward. I can't remember who this is, but there's somebody in here. Instead, I don't think we've got it. I haven't got the next one of him winning the ball back, but he actually goes for a little dink. He tries to dink it to Delot as this player is coming in, closing the ball down, instead of passing to Martinez, who's the safe option. So, yeah, and he loses the ball. This guy wins it. I can't remember his name, and then he's on the attack. So we're now sort of a little bit out of position here. You can see Martinez is up here. He's a little bit out of position, but now mistake number 2 is going to be introduced, and again, this is criminal as well. It's just the amount of mistakes that you see in the build-up to some United goals is ridiculous. Maguire's position here, I think, is not in a bad position here at all. The ball's just about to get played. He's quite far away from him, could be closer, but he's goal side. They've got players back. You can see Yoro's up here on this image, so Yoro would be about here. He's up there. You got it's Bruno, not Martinez. You've got Bruno coming back. So if you hold him in your goal side here, if you hold him there, you've got Bruno running back to make up ground. and then you've got Yoro up there to so you've got 3 men surrounding Semenyo. 3 men surrounding him. So just hold him up, don't do anything silly, and he's got nowhere to go. Instead, Maguire goes from a position here, tries to cut out the ball just as a little step. Just as the ball's been played, he does a step. And I like to call it the Maguire step because he gets caught out and it happens so often. He tries to anticipate winning that ball. And if you do that and you miss it, then you're in big trouble. Semenyo receives it on his back foot, turns, and then is away. Especially if you're Maguire and you lack pace, right? You're a defender that lacks pace. You would think you would be even more inclined to try and stay goal side. Try and stay goal side. Especially he's got 3 men here, man. He's got 3 men here. Just stay goal side, and you can snuff that out. You've got men back to just stay goal side. That allows Bruno to come back into it. You're not going to get beaten, but instead dives in. Semenyo's now on the run. He's got nobody else supporting him. This is his only option if he tries to sort of hit it with the outside of his foot to him. But he opts to. He has to hold the ball up. So he goes left, and you can see in this next one. Yeah, he goes left to try and bide some time. And then, yeah, we see it on the left hand side here, and Bruno's now tracked the run of the wing back. Again, now look at Martinez here because Semenyo. Oh, sorry, it wasn't Semenyo. Semenyo's here, who scores. This wasn't Semenyo. Semenyo's here who eventually scores. Look at that marking. That is great. The distance here between the two is perfect, but you'll see that distance just increases. You know, there's in this next one, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 United players in the box, and look at this gap again. Look at this gap between them both. It's a bit ridiculous, man. We've gone from here, tight marking, to this. He's sort of ball watching. He's gone inside, and there's nobody else to mark. You would understand it if there was more people here, and he had to weigh up. Oh, who do I go with? Who's the bigger threat? I'll go with the man nearer the goal. But that isn't the case. There's one person for him to mark, and he's just marking the empty space instead of staying tight to his man. So the ball comes in, it gets pulled back, and then question marks over. He's too far away now than Martinez. If he's tight, he can try and nick in front of him here and get that ball. He can try and nick in front here and get that ball. He can make it a lot more difficult to get that shot away. But it's too much space. Instead of him sort of trying to nip in front or to use his strength to make him so he can't get the shot away, all of his energy as soon as that ball gets pulled back is just trying to close the gap, which allows Semenyo to get a clean shot away. And question marks over Onana here, because you see here and you think, okay, if a ball's going to go near post, you're not going to be able to score. Now, I know this is a still image. It was absolutely rocketed at him, but instead Onana sort of anticipates that it's going to go across him. He's wrong-footed, and it goes in at the near post here. But those are the 3 goals. Hopefully you've sort of, well, I wouldn't say enjoyed it, but hopefully this video offers some sort of explanation as to why the goals went in, and you've seen sort of the individual errors in the build-up to the goals. And I think it is useful, because if we sort of break down the goals that United concede and score, you're just going to see the same things occur over and over again. We can even do some kind of tally, whether it's going to be a sort of defensive error, set piece. We can have some sort of tally going on what we can see, because I think we can see the same amount of goals over and over. So that will be good to see. But yeah, I appreciate you for watching, and have a good Christmas. I'll see you next time. Ciao.